Your next travel camera may be this right here. This is the OM-5 from OM System. Earlier this year, we made a video on the OM-1, which takes the place as OM System's flagship camera. Now this is the OM-5, and while on the surface it may not look like a new camera, it is. OM System has tailored this camera to be an ideal use for those of you that are traveling or photographing sports or other events with your children. It's unassuming, it doesn't attract a lot of attention, but it has plenty of capability. It has a lot of body similarities to that of the EM-5 Mark III, but you're going to notice this is the first camera with the OM System insignia on the front. First of all, it has a 20 megapixel sensor, the ability to shoot 10 frames per second mechanical shutter, and 30 frames per second in silent and pro capture modes. It has 5-axis stabilization, and when you pair that with appropriate lenses, you can get up to 7.5 stops of stabilization. It has the TruePic 9 processor that will do all the heavy lifting for the computational tasks, such as the high-res shot mode, which, when utilized, the camera takes multiple shots and composites them into one high-resolution 50 megapixel image. And you can do that handheld. You also have live composite mode, starry sky autofocus, live ND, then you also have some impressive video capability as well. You can shoot 4K up to 30 frames per second, or if you need to film something moving quickly, you can shoot up to 120 frames per second in full HD mode. And if you want to get the most out of the dynamic range of your video, select your color mode to OM Log 400. This is going to give you extra latitude when shooting video. Another seemingly small but we find a very important feature is the ability to use this camera as a webcam. Now I know a lot of cameras allow you to do that, but what's important about this camera is there's no additional software required. It's literally plug and play. When we opened up Zoom, the camera connected immediately. Shallow depth of field and face tracking made for a very cool effect on a conference call. And I tried this with a FaceTime call with my parents. It worked very well. Apple FaceTime saw my camera immediately, saw the camera feed as well as the audio feed, so if you have another microphone plugged into it, it will take that feed as well. I also made sure I had a fully charged battery before the FaceTime call. Call lasted just over an hour, and looking at the battery indicator on the screen, I didn't see any of the levels move down. So I think that speaks to the level of power consumption that this camera uses when it's in that standby mode. And an interesting feature you're going to find on the screen is this really cool mode that you can tap or you can swipe on the side of the screen, and you'll be able to change your shutter speed. You can step it up or down. You can change your ISO, your F number, as well as a few other items here. We even have our microphone here on the video mode. You'll also find this on the fully automatic mode. So touch that, and then you're going to find your different color modes. There's color saturation, there's color temperature. You go back here. We have blurred motion, stopped motion. It's just extra usability whenever you're trying to change your settings on the fly by touching the screen. And last but certainly not least is the IP53 rating. This is a rating system for electronic devices that may be used in challenging environments. The first digit has to do with solids, and the second digit has to do with liquids. 5 means it's dust protected. So in most use cases, not in extreme environments, but in most uses, you're not going to have to worry about dust getting into the camera. And number 3 is for spraying water. So light rain moving on the top of the camera is not going to give it an issue. And I do want to remind you, you need to make sure that the port doors are all closed, the memory card door is closed, and the battery door is closed, as well as a lens attached to the camera in order to get that IP53 rating. The OM System OM-5 comes in a couple of different kit variations. You can get it as a body alone in either the black or silver like we have here. And you can pair it with the 12-45 f4 Pro lens for constant aperture use, which will give you the full frame equivalent of about 24 to 90 millimeters. You also have the ability to pair it up with the 14 to 150 millimeter option, which is going to be about a 28 millimeter to 300 millimeter range. But no matter what you choose, this is going to be an excellent system to run around, put in your bag, travel with it, photograph your kids, and make those memories. If you want to make this camera part of your kit, visit any of our physical locations or online at bedfords.com.